I'm concerned and somewhat bothered by the labeling of being a found object artist, or an artist that uses found objects, because it just has a quality or a sense to it that somehow bothers me. I wanted to transcend that a little bit. I consider myself a sculptor. I have an insatiable desire to collect and accumulate things. I really spend a lot of time out searching for things in different flea markets and antique shops. Right now we're standing in what I consider my library. This is my little cubbyhole where I sort of charge up and relax. The various things on my shelves have all kinds of meaning. It's a kind of a sensation I get from them. It's not anything I can articulate, but I do get a tremendous amount of satisfaction at looking at them. I consider my studio my palette in the same way a painter would set up his palette with his colors and whatever, but my palette is my shapes and forms that I've collected over the years, over a span of 45 years or so. I was born in Elyria, Ohio. It's a small town about 50 miles west of Cleveland, and it's on Lake Erie. My father worked in the steel mills in Lorraine, and during the summers I'd work along with him. And as far back as I can remember, I wanted to be an artist. And I was lucky in my freshman year in high school. I won a Saturday morning scholarship to study at the Cleveland Institute of Art. And I'd hop on a Greyhound bus and go in, and as soon as I walked in the doors of the Cleveland Institute of Art, I knew that that's where I would have to be. Went on to Yale for my graduate work, accepted a position at Brown teaching painting. After 8 years there, I had an offer from RISD to head the freshman foundation program. And I just recently retired after 35 years. One of the nice things or compelling things I find in the objects and forms I use, that they were used by other people before I picked them up, so that now I have the not only privilege of using this form, but the challenge to try and transform it and bring it into my world and for other people to view. That's what really excites me, the mystery that the forms have, their life before I found them, the fact that they were all made by another artisan in many respects. So many of them are hand-hewn, hand-carved, the wonderful age-worn patina on it. This is all something that I try and use to energize my shapes and my forms. When they come together, I think they establish a real relationship with one another. This is one of my most recent pieces. It's called Delilah's Staff. And it's made from lath, wooden lath that's been glued and nailed together. And then this is a ceramic vase that's glazed. That's the kind of thing that really excites me and turns me on, is finding these nice relationships between nature and human-made or man-made forms. The tools I have, they're picked up in all my travels around the country, and they all have quite a story to tell in themselves. All of the tools are hand tools, and I really enjoy the hands-on process, and the working with my hands is very important to me. And as I'm working on a piece or I have an idea for something, I do a lot of drawing before I start working. And then it's a matter of going around and searching for some kind of a shape or form that I can then relate to the drawing. Most of the pieces are then cut apart and reassembled to relate to the blueprint or the concept that I have in my mind. So many wonderful things happen, I think, in our pursuits as an artist that are accidental. I had this chair here for probably 15 years, and then just about a couple months ago I found this, and I just thought there was a beautiful wedding between the two. So it's almost a quick ready-made, but there's a wonderful thing that happens visually when these two pieces are lined up perfectly, when the back splints line up exactly with the back splints here. It's almost an optical illusion. It's almost like it just really almost vibrates visually because of the subtle differences between the positive and negative shapes. So that's what excites me about this, and also about the color relationship. I mean, look at that. It's just as they were found. It has to go together, and that's what it's about, I guess, you know. Yeah, this is the preferred way. I like this way. There, it's seated good. The way I work, I don't have anything that it's always a surprise to me what's going to happen, and that's what keeps me excited. I come into my studio day after day and not knowing where it's going to take me or what I'm going to be doing. That's the reason I have to have all this stuff around me, because one day I might be working just on sculpture, another day I'll be doing some drawing, the next day I'll be doing painting on a collage or working on something in a box. It's always a nice adventure. I say a little prayer every morning I come in for having this luxury of being able to spend my time doing what I want to do and not having my days dictated by someone other than myself.